we're cooking the scruffins from page 266 from my book, Cook Me, please. These are a, what do you call it? A morph. A morph? These are like a morph of a scroll and a muffin, mainly because you cook them in a muffin tin, so they're already ready to go for the kiddies. Should we start? Should we scruff? All right, scruffing time. So I've got some milk. No, I've got some lukewarm milk. You just want to check it's not too hot, because or else you'll kill your yeast, which sounds really traumatic, but yes, I mean, it is a bit traumatic because it won't rise. And then some sugar, 1/4 cup instead of a half. 1.5 teaspoons of our instant yeast or dried yeast. We're just going to stir that in, set it aside to let it dissolve and activate the yeast. I like to do this all in the bowl that I'm going to be kneading it in, just to save on, you know, bowls, etc. So pop that in to our stand mixer. You can do this by hand, everything in a bowl. It's doable, it's a bit more sticky. You'll probably have to add a bit more flour just to kind of keep things rolling, literally. Yeast is in there dissolving. Meanwhile, we can get all our other ingredients kind of happening to make our lives easier. I'm using milk powder today. Milk powder does this neat thing. It makes everything fluffy. So we've got 1/3 cup of milk powder, 4 cups of flour, plain flour. You can use a high grade flour if you really want to, but plain flour totally works for this one. Yeah, we got chickens beginning of this year. And then there was an egg crisis, so that was really well timed. Juju is one, Olive and Rosie. They're actually named after my grandparents, which I don't know whether they didn't enjoy. Maybe they would, I don't know. What I love about this recipe, I don't know why I looked up. What I love about this recipe is at this point, everything goes in the bowl. All right, make it rain. Flour, an egg. Oh. Westgold unsalted butter, 150 grams melted. This is beautiful butter, it's grass-fed, free range. Very nice. Okay, so it's all in. Pop this up, chuck it on. You're gonna mix it until like it kind of forms a ball. So probably around 5 minutes, whatever's written in the book. So now the dough's ready. So you're gonna flour your bench. With this recipe, you make the dough, you roll it out, and then pop it in your fridge and leave it till the morning. Just makes life easier. Well, just means we can eat buns at the proper time. You just want to like roll it out into a cool rectangle shape. But you can use a tray even. You don't even have to like roll it out. You could just like spread it with your hands. You could wrap it in beeswax or cling film, whatever you use at home, and chill it overnight so it can prove very slowly. So I did this one before because who wants to wait? And this is a TV show. So what we do with this is we're gonna cover it in our spice sugar mix, roll it up, cut it into 12, and pop it into our muffin tray before we bake it. Cardamom is a really cool spice. It kind of gives something a bit more chai-y. Chai-y, that's the word. 2 teaspoons of cardamom. And then 2 tablespoons of cinnamon, which sounds like a lot, but it is a cinnamon scroll, so. I actually like to put a little bit of salt in there as well. Salt, it just brings out all the good bits, the flavor, I guess. So, melted butter onto our dough so that the spice mix sticks. Lots of butter. All right, so just our spicy mix going all the way to the edges. In the book, I've got, for a lot of the recipes, I've always got like a spice it up, jazz it up, veg it up option. And actually for this one, I've got, if you've got like an apple around, grate one up and chuck it in. So I thought, let's do it. Look at that. So these will be apple scruffins, apple and cinnamon scruffins. Right, so now we're gonna roll. Longest edge to you, starting at the base. And what I like to do, because butter is delicious, is actually like get some in there as I'm going. Don't know why I keep touching it. Okay, so we're cutting it into 12. It's always fine. Halfway is always a good way to start. And so then each of these into 3. And then into our tray. So they're in the muffin tray. We're just gonna chuck a tea towel over the top, pop them in a warm place and leave them for 1 to 2 hours until they're kind of room temp, slightly risen, and then we'll chuck them in the oven and they'll be ready in 20 minutes in the oven. These are our scruffins. While they kind of cool a bit, we're just gonna make the glaze. So a cup of icing sugar. I'm just gonna eyeball this. My secret ingredient is citric acid, that sherbet flavor that you get, from sherbet. 2 to 3 tablespoons of milk. Huh, look at that. Easy. Pop them straight on a tray so the drizz will drizz off. It's getting to that point of the day where I'm just making up words now. So we're gonna drizz onto the scruffin. Essentially, we're just gonna go a bit cray-cray here. So let's just have fun with it. And that's it. Scruff Town. And then what I like to do is just roll it out like a little snake. Look at that snake. Enjoy, guys.